Kansas State men's basketball has landed a transfer from Creighton. His name is Arthur Kaluma. He's a 6'7", 225-pound forward who will be a junior next year. In 29.3 minutes per game, he started 37 games, all of them this year. In the previous year, like 30 out of 31 games. So he's a starting material day one, I would say, for Kansas State right off the bat. Especially with the loss of Keontae Johnson. Yeah, he's stuck around. He's sticking in the draft. So he did average 11.8 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 1.6 assists per game, 0.6 blocks per game, 0.5 steals per game. That has to improve, I would say. Maybe the same thing goes for the blocks as well. Maybe. But definitely in the steals category, you got to work on that. 2.2 fouls per game, 2.1 turnovers per game. He did shoot 42.3% from the floor on 345 attempts. He was a 31.1%, not 3, 31.1% from 3 this past year on 132 attempts. He did shoot 73.6% from the free throw line on 140 attempts. And I know Kansas State has tried to add some other guys in the transfer portal on this swing and miss, but they did land, of course, Tyler Perry, and they did lose 2 guys, but really one of them is like a guy that probably wouldn't have played anyway, and Anthony Thomas. And Ish Massoud is already gone to Georgetown. So, but they got Tyler Perry though from North Texas. So they definitely needed a forward in the worst way because. And I'm going to right now. Also, I'm going to go over like the recruiting class for them. They got Dada Ames, like as a point guard, 6'1", 160 pounds, according to 247 Sports. He's a 4-star. Another 4-star in R.J. Jones at 6'3", 175 pounds, at shooting guard and at small forward. Macaleb Rich, that's 6'6", 210 pounds, at small forward. He's a 3-star. And I know they got some guys in the 2022 class, but they did not play this past year. I mean, like, I know they had some guys like Taj Manning, I believe, that redshirted this past year, but I'm going to go over their roster. And first of all, it's hard to replace Marquise Noel, and they got a very, very similar guy in Keontae Johnson. And I don't know if he's exactly him, but you got to admit, he's a pretty close to it. I mean, in terms of, and I do have some questions about Kansas State though. I know they lost Ish Massoud. That hurts. And like I said, those 2 top guys are gone. And they finished third in the Big 12 last year with 11 wins and 7 losses. But they finished overall 26-10. And they finished in the Elite 8, as we all know. Yeah. Like Taj Manning, I believe. I'm pretty sure Taj Manning did redshirt this past year, but I'm going to double check that real fast. Just to make sure. Yeah, he did not even play this past year. He's like 6'7", 220 pounds at forward. And they did have like another guard, but he didn't play this past year in Peyton Ackerman. 5'10", 150 pounds. I don't know if he's going to really play or not, but you got to admit, they're definitely losing the following because of eligibility anyway. Dusty Sills, 5 years, he's done. We already know Keontae Johnson could have come back, but ultimately no. Of course, same thing goes for Marquise Noel. He had no more years left either, and apparently Abayomi Iola Iola, he could be on the way out too, but I know supposedly on his Instagram, when you go check, he's actually with a pro team. I think he's gone, but I could be wrong. I very well could be, but I'm just saying that's a potential loss. And Tyke Green as well. And I know he's another fifth-year guy, so yeah, they're losing a lot of experience, as you could tell, and we already know Ish Massoud is gone. And granted, they do have another senior, but he's like a walk-on in Nate Aubrey. Yeah, it's 6'3", 309 pounds at guard. But they do bring back Naquan Tomlin, who withdrew from the draft. David Hugesson came back as well, but they lost Ish Massoud, like I said. So, and Anthony Thomas, like I said, transferred out, but he didn't even play this past year. But you gotta remember too, that's a new coaching staff, and they only returned like 2 guys from the previous year to this past season. Still made the Elite Eight. They did a lot in the transfer portal to help themselves. I'll tell you that much. And they do have Juro Colbert, but he only played like 4 games last year, but he might have to be counted on more. At 6'10", 235 pounds, and Cam Carter as well. So, yeah, they don't return a bunch of production. I mean, like, really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys, maybe 8. But then you add Tyler Perry to the mix, and now this addition, as well as those freshmen, like I said. Like I said, on those freshmen, like 3 freshmen, that sounds about right on the roster, because there's only 13 scholarships in Division I men's basketball, as we all know. It's not like the women's game where they have 15. So, yeah, they don't have a lot of scholarships, and granted, I am including some walk-ons, but walk-ons are walk-ons. I mean, in terms of roster size here, I don't know if they have a scholarship or not, so I'm not speculating on that. I'm just saying there's not a lot of room. I mean, when you have 3 freshmen and you only return 8 guys, and you add 2 transfers, and granted, you know, some of those guys are like walk-on types. Like Nate Aubrey, for example. He was a walk-on, but he's not really a loss in terms of production. Maybe in terms of like a teammate, yes. Definitely a yes on a teammate standpoint. And getting players prepared for the games here. But when you look at the production gone, Noel was your leading scorer. He's down. Same thing goes for Keontae Johnson. He did actually have another year, but he turned pro, and he stayed in the draft. Tomlin's back. He's the only other double-digit scorer they have. And now with this addition, and of course having Tyler Perry and now Arthur Kambala, those 2 were double-digit scorers at their respective schools. So that definitely helps. You do lose Dusty Sills. Like I said, 8.7 points per game. So you're losing 3 of your top 4 scorers from last year. Yeah. But Cam Carr is coming back at 6.5. And David Hugesson is 6.4. So, yeah. And Dorian Finster, who hardly played, was like 2 points per game. Everybody else on the list gone. Like Nate Aubrey probably gone, and Iola, like I said, like it looks like he's turned pro. I mean, and Masood transferred out to Georgetown. We all know. We all know that. So we'll have to wait and see what they do in the Big 12 because I know Kansas reloaded like per usual, and I know Texas got some guys, but they are smaller this year than last year, and they lost a lot of experience, as we all know. I mean, they did lose some experience. And Marcus Carr and Sergio Arbari Rice. And we already know West Virginia is going to get better because of all the transfer portal additions they got. And Baylor should be about the same place, maybe a little bit better. Yes, I know they lost Adam Flywood to the draft, Keontae George to the draft, as well as LJ Cryer to Houston, which we know how good Houston is in men's basketball, and I expect them to be good in the Big 12. I just don't know how many more losses are they going to take because they're really a good team. It's just they might not be as good defensively, and you have to play more tougher opponents night in, night out, and the Big 12 is tougher than the American. Let's be clear about that too. I mean, so I'm going to just say that. And Christian Bishop, we know from Texas, he's gone. No more years of eligibility. Timmy Allen, I believe he's done. Yeah, he's done. And eligibility and those, we all know. And Marcus Carr's gone. Brock Cunningham is coming back though. And Sergio Barry Rice is gone, but Dallas Dessou is back. So that does help for them. So, but I know they really missed out on some guys. And yes, I know they got transfers, but their high school class for 2023 fell on them. So, because both of those guys that they had, two of those guys that they had, are going to the G League instead of to college. So, yeah, that's not exactly ideal for Texas. And Iowa State, we'll have to wait and see. TCU, we'll have to wait and see. Oklahoma State, I don't know what to think of them this year. And we know Texas Tech has a new head coach, so there's some turnover there. We have to wait and see. And same thing goes for Oklahoma. It's not really a new head coach or anything, but Oklahoma's a wait and see as well because they lost some guys to the transfer portal too, and I know they got some guys too. And with the additions of Houston, that's probably going to be a contender in the Big 12 on a yearly basis, it seems, unless the competition gets too tough. For them. And UCF might be the worst team coming in. Maybe same thing goes for BYU. Cincinnati, they're off and on. In tournament, NCAA tournament, and not. So, yeah. But I know BYU might be trying to get better. It's just I don't know how much better they're going to be with the tougher conference than the West Coast Conference. Sorry, but it's the truth when you look at the numbers. And how many more teams they get in year in, year out, and it helps prepare for the tournament and everything. And we'll have to wait and see on the scheduling too for conference. I know it's definitely 18 games. It's a matter of which teams are going to play each other twice and which teams are going to just be just once. And we have to also wait and see the rosters for everybody here, because I know Baylor's still waiting on Jalen Bridges, who is deciding to either come back to Baylor or go to Australia for pro. So, anyways, if you like this content, hit like and subscribe button. See you guys later. Find subscribers are on the road to it. Let's go.